Happy hump day. It's drizzling. It's getting ready to rain. Luckily, I only had to make one stop. But unfortunately, I don't never have just one thing to talk about because it's just too much to talk about. I was going to go over. I had talked about birthright citizenship before. It needs to be settled because it's another thing that is being hijacked for the purposes of expanding for any and everything in any and everybody. And once I was enlightened fully, and then when I was looking and reading the original text, I'm like, yeah, this is not. And you know it's a problem because I know I'm not going to do the birthright citizenship talk today. I might not do it at all. But I'm going to leave you with this. A couple of months ago, they found the Chinese was running baby, or what you call them, birthing. I don't know what birthing meals. I don't know what you want to call them. But where they had women, Chinese, whatever, coming here, or setting them up to have babies with the intent to become U.S. citizens. Because if you're here, it makes no sense. I don't think any other country, when I was looking, I don't think any other country has a law that asinine. So if I was pregnant and was over in Italy or somewhere, and I'm on vacation, I'm not going to be there forever. Or even if I just happen to squat in Italy, somehow get over there and don't leave and think that I'm going to stay there because I think Italy is my home, and I have a baby, Italy is not going to say, oh, well, that your baby is a citizen of Italy. No, because I'm not a citizen of Italy. I can't go anywhere and my baby claim citizenship. And then automatically, because that baby was born in Italy, we get the rights to whatever the Italians had. So why are we doing that? Because it wasn't meant for that. It was meant for just black Americans, fresh out of slavery. And I'm trying to understand why the black obsessed don't know this. That's why you need to have. If y'all don't know what the deal is, and figure it out. So anyway, I just want to get back to crime and safety because that should be something that we all can universally agree upon. But just like with leave the children the fuck alone, excuse my language, but I get tired of talking about leave the children alone. And then you all want to sit and think that it's some type of that people, because I don't know if you all are aware, and I've said this before. I did a video yesterday. I posted on my Instagram and on my YouTube. I didn't put it on my main Facebook. But when you have to draw a line at some point. And often lines are drawn because when you recognize and notice that it's particular people that are pushing particular things and you don't agree with it, you either going to sit back and keep going along with it or you're not. When you don't agree with children being told that they can cut their body parts off, or that they have all these different genders, or that they can pick all these different pronouns, or they can be an animal because now they're animals now. They can be furries, they can be dogs, they can be this, that, and the other. When you have men that you think, oh, well, they can become babies, or they can do this, that, and the other. Or my age, I'm 80, but I feel like I identify as a 25-year-old. All they're doing is trying and already working the pedophile in the ABCDEFG gender. And a lot of places they already doing it. And they also have to do that to align with the people that they're trying to now call people phobic about speaking on. Radical Islam is not the Nation of Islam. See, people think Muslims Just like you have all type of different types of groups of people, you have different types of Muslims. Muslims into Sharia law and all that, it's not nothing that you want in this country. But they trying to do this thing like they did with homosexuality. So you can be like, oh, it's okay. But then you slowly, it keeps on wanting to grow and take an inch and take an inch and then take a mile. Then it has a rope and now it's trying to hang everybody with it. But yet we still have people that sit, especially in the church. That's why I'm like, I want to talk about the church again, but I'm sick of talking about the church because you really piss me off. You really do. Like, to no end. I don't even want to call you the church anymore because it's offensive. Because a lot of you ain't the church. But for safety, we had another illegal kill somebody in Virginia. That's just reported. I don't even know. It could be more. My daughter said to me today, did you hear about the girl that went on a first date and they never was heard from again? I said, which one? Because unfortunately, like I said to her, she was like, what? I said, it's been other cases around the country where this has happened. So are you talking about something old or something that's recent? And that's because I said, when you create an atmosphere where judges and whoever else are operating with, you got gentle parenting, which we all are now seeing, which I already knew, a lot of us already knew. That's why we weren't paying it no mind. Gentle parenting. Now people are like, oh my God, no. Yeah, that. Now you got gentle judging. And it's not even gentle. It's ignorant and lunatikish. The only type of mercy you need to give to somebody is like somebody that maybe was caught up in a bad situation. They lost their job. They didn't know how they was going to feed their kids. So maybe they did something. And I'm not even saying that that's right, but if I would ever give mercy to somebody, it'd be somebody that did something in desperation, maybe. Like that. But they didn't harm anybody, even though you are harming somebody. But I think some of y'all might get it and some of you don't, because your thinking has been turned off because you need Abby Phillips or somebody to tell you. But given all these passes, I was just listening to okay, wait a minute, back to the stabbing. No, you had that. Then it was a Guatemalan illegal. I think he raped, was it a 5-year-old? Oh, listening to some of the, I was like, this is, it's too much. And then you still have people around here wanting to make all these laws and do this, that, and the other to protect illegals. My modus operandi, as I mature and I see what's going on out here, everybody's a suspect until they're not. That means everybody's a suspect until we rule them out. So for me, I'm operating off of everybody got to go until we get to sort through your background and then we let you in here. So then I just finished watching. I watched it's a guy called Steve. He has a dynamic reason channel on YouTube, but he goes over different stories of crime around the country, so people are aware of what's going on. You know, because you need to know what's going on. But sometimes I have to take a break from him because it gets to be too much, because he does a lot of reporting on just lunacy, straight lunacy. And he showed the story of the young lady that stabbed the mother just randomly in Harris Teeter in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, the same Charlotte where Irina Zaruski, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, was stabbed on a train, and where other things are happening. But you got a judge there in Charlotte, and I think now they got a judge that they've elected, or some woman they've elected, that doesn't believe in, I guess, criminal punishment. So y'all have good luck with that. I'm like, how do you elect these people soft on crime, but yet you turn around and cry about crime? Or when somebody becomes a victim of crime that you know, or it hits your family, then you cry about it. You elected it. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. You can't keep going off of, oh, I like how you look. I like your skin color. I like that you talk sweet to me. I like the sugar that you put on top of your words. No. Superficiality and stupidity are getting people killed. They're going to get you killed eventually one day, because you create more criminals the opportunity, the likelihood of running into one increases steadily. So she stabbed the lady randomly, and then he was going over. She's had run-ins repeatedly. She robbed somebody with a gun, and then she had different charges every time. It seemed like they just, suspended sentence, did this, that, and the other. One crime she spent like maybe 8 months in jail. That was it. Came back out. Then I didn't even know 2 dudes in D.C. that were arrested for, I think it was last month, a guy in Logan Circle went to get something to eat. He going back in his building, and they followed him. So he went in. They, I guess, hit the buzzer or whatever. So I guess he thought or assumed that maybe they were coming in or lived in the building. He opened the door for them. They proceed to rob this man, beat him to death, and then set him on fire in Logan Circle, Northwest. And I'm like, what? So then he went over the items that they stole, and I think they arrested 2 guys, and then one of them is already in jail already on unrelated charges. What, just when are you all going to decide to vote security over stupid? I don't know what else to say. I'm tired of this garbage. If they not teaching your kids things that they shouldn't be taught. Oh, hold up. Wait. Then in Minnesota, the sick land of Minnesota, you know how you go on a porn site and everybody talks about how porn is such a addiction and this, that, and the other. But basically the books that a lot of these kids are exposed to in schools are porn. But now in Minnesota, which will very well likely be Maryland one day, because now he wants to follow suit with the tampons and things. And I think they voted it down so far for now. But who knows? I'm sure they'll revisit it if you keep the same people in there. They just gonna find a better way to dress it up or attach it to something or sneak it in, because that's what they do. That's what the devil does. But anyway, so they voted, but it's a tie, so therefore it's not going to go anywhere. But 67 Democrats voted to not have age restriction or where you have to verify the age to get on a porn site. So they already are pushing gender ideology on your kids. They're already telling children that God is wrong. If you feel like a boy or a girl or you confused, then you need to go ahead on and just cut your stuff off and get some puberty blockers. They're already doing this stuff. They already doing all this gender stuff and trying to change language and all this, that, and the other to fit ungodly ideologies. Things that people claim to be Christian and concerned about. That's why I'm like, you can't be a Christian. You already just turned over. You burning it. You just because it's something wrong. If you're an adult and you want to do that, that's fine. That's your business. But when you want to push that crap, and force everybody else to acquiesce and bow to you for that, I can't tell you to bow to me for the things that I believe. You got to either agree or disagree, and that's your prerogative. But why you want to force people into believing? So when we try to set the normalcy, because it is normal, 2 genders are normal, leave the kids alone is normal, because we should let children be children. We used to understand that growing up. Now all of a sudden everybody's into, well, just let the kids, let this. But while you're letting, you complain when things go wrong and stuff happens. So which is it? Are you really having a critical thinking disconnect? Is your brain really fried? Did you smoke too much weed in your formative years? Are you smoking it now and it's laced with something? Because I'm really starting to wonder about the mental state of a lot of people around me, especially adults that call themselves adults, because it's something very seriously off. You don't understand a direct correlation between keep having people in office that have no care or concern about your safety. They want to keep making everything lenient. And you see these kids running around like jackasses all around the streets. The government cannot and should not. It's sad that they want to do curfews. They shouldn't have to. Why is the government? See, this is the problem. That's why they think they can do what they want to do with your kids. And that's why I said, like Maryland, Montgomery County, like I told you a couple of weeks ago, they have to pay now for what they did when they was lying to them parents in Montgomery County, the case where they went to the Supreme Court, which many of you all probably don't know about, because the things that they don't want you to know about, that you should know about, they don't report that. And mainstream media is basically there to keep you ignorant. That's their job now. They tell you the things that they want to get you hopped up on, they lie to you about to get you in a frenzy, but they don't tell you things you really need to be upset about. Because I find it astounding that a lot of people still don't know who's pushing the trans agenda on their children and why people are fighting it. You all act like somebody's fighting something just because. It's not arbitrary. Where do you think these trans kids are coming from? Where do you think all this lunacy is coming from? Where do you think all these boys in wigs are coming from? Where do you think all this crime is coming from? I want to shout out Ron DeSantis in Florida. I said if I ever move somewhere, I'd go to Florida and go my behind in Polk County with Sheriff Grady Judd. Well, any of the sheriffs in Florida for real. But he actually is trying to impeach or get a judge impeached. But I know y'all gonna cry. Oh, she's black. I don't care if she's black. Because there's black ones, white ones, Hispanic ones, all of them. It's a whole bunch of them. But she's going to be made the example of. Because she released, I believe it was somebody he raped or he did something, but she released him and he went home and killed his stepdaughter. Either raped and killed or either killed her. You had him and you let him go. And we've seen too much of that. So yeah, it's time. Somebody got to kick the ball. And and hopefully he's the one that's gonna kick this ball off, because that's all that's what we need. I'm like, we gotta do something with these judges. I've been saying it. I'm like, we gotta do something with these judges. Not only do we need to hold the parents accountable, but these judges need to be held accountable. So if you want to be a stupid A, see, y'all so busy thinking about skin don't mean nothing, because that means you'll let any man of evil get people, and people are doing it. You'll let evil happen for the sake of skin. Stupid. Just special kind of stupid that's around me. That's why I'm like, what's going on here? So I don't care. I know a lot of you don't like me. Don't like what I say or think. But one day you're going to be like, oh my God. She was trying to tell us something. But I don't even think I should even have to tell you anything. You should see it every time you freaking turn on the news. Oh, I forget. You get one side of the news. Oh, God. You all are the most unsafe people ever in my life. God help us. God bless you. Keep you safe from yourself, but most of all from your children and your grandchildren.